Welcome back to Silent Pew, and it's Sunday Gunday. Today, we're going to be talking about a gun that entered the carry market and changed it, and it might be the best evolution yet. That's the SIG X-Macro. Now, before we get started, as always, we're going to show that we're clear and in a safe environment. Now, to start our story on the SIG X-Macro, we got to go back to 2018 when SIG dropped the P365, what I would call the standard version. It came with a 10+1 round magazine, and in my opinion, it really disrupted the market. At the time, it was huge capacity for a small gun, and realistically, it could fit in your pocket. Next, they dropped the P365 XL. That came with a longer slide and an extended grip module. And for some, that was just a little bit more comfortable because the small size of the P365 Standard Edition might have been just a bit too small depending on the size of your hands. Then SIG dropped the X-Macro, and they went bold. They gave us 17 rounds in the magazine. They gave us a full-size grip module with that integrated compensator. And when I tell you I was attracted to this thing as soon as it dropped, I had to have it. So the X-Macro actually has a 3.1 inch barrel and what I would consider an enlarged slide. Because if we take a look at it, I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up there, but the barrel itself is actually shorter than the slide. So the barrel is not compensated as we've seen in some other firearms. The barrel is just actually shorter than the slide itself, and the compensation is only in the slide. Now, something that's crazy for this is gonna be that grip size. Now, you guys heard me talk about it before. I can't stand when my pinky is hanging off. And as you can see, with or without the magazine here, I've got a full purchase on that grip, super comfortable. And to be honest, I don't know how they did it, but to get 17 rounds in this grip, in this magazine, and to be able to keep it this slim and this compact, crazy. And that's what makes this one of my favorite carries. Now, as you've probably already seen, we do have that red dot on here. This does come Optic-ready, and it does come with that RMSC footprint. So for those of you that don't know, we've got different footprints on different slides that allow you to put different red dots on those slides natively. So the RMSC is gonna be the one that's on here. You've got RMR, a couple other ones that you're gonna be able to utilize. But for this one here, like I said, we've got that RMSC, which is going to give you some pretty good available options in terms of putting a red dot on this here gun. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the trigger. Before we do so, I'm going to go ahead and show clear one more time. We've got ourselves a flat face trigger. It's got a decent feel. Let's go ahead and check the reset. So pretty decent trigger overall. One thing that you can't really pick up on camera and doesn't actually happen every single time is actually when you pull the trigger at a slow rate, you can actually feel the slide move slightly. It's something that more just bugs me more than anything, but it's something that I really didn't expect for the price point that you pay for this. So while we're talking about the trigger, I wanted to mention that this trigger is actually 6 hours FCU. Now that's their fire control unit. And all that means is that they put the serial number on the trigger itself. So you could actually take the trigger out of this gun completely, put it in a different grip module, throw a different slide on there. So you can get super custom while still having the same gun, but completely different from everybody else. All right, so let's talk about the range. Now, hear me out. Before we get started on the range, I know you guys probably want to see some actual footage of the range, and we're definitely gonna do that, I promise you. That's my next step, is to make sure that I can get us out to the range to show you guys how these guns are shooting, how they actually feel, and not just talk about it. And I promise that's on my list of things to get done. So we'll make sure that we get out there, we shoot this and some of the ones we've already talked about. But in the meantime, I still am sharing my experience with what I felt when I have taken these guns to the range. So I'm still giving you that real life experience. Okay, so at the range, we've talked about the full size grip. So you guys know for me, that's super comfortable. But beyond that, this thing stays slim, gives you that full grip. And honestly, that integrated compensator gives you that confidence of keeping that muzzle down. And overall, I would say that this is one of the best packages that I could have gotten for an everyday carry. Now, despite the grip size and the 17 round magazine, this is still the most concealable gun that I carry in my rotation. I've been carrying this for well over a year. I carry the gun and a sidecar, which is just an extra magazine attached to it as well. So at all times, I've got 34 rounds plus one on my body. This is by far the most comfortable gun that I carry. Now, one thing I wanted to discuss quickly is going to be the finish on the gun, specifically on the slide. Some people have mentioned some rusting issues, and they're usually seeing that near the rear sight and the front sight. Now, me personally, I haven't seen any issues with that. I am in a humid state where we get a lot of sweat going on, especially when it's hot outside, and we've got this at the appendix carry position. But again, personally, I haven't seen any of those issues. I do keep it lubricated, and I do touch those points specifically because I've heard those complaints. So mileage may vary on that. Okay, so overall, I would say SIG dropped this X-Macro and it changed the game. I think not only did it change the game for the entire carry world, but also changed the game for me. This has been my go-to carry day in and day out for well over a year. I wouldn't recommend anything but this if somebody was trying to get into carry right now, today in 2025. So I guess that answers the next question. Would I recommend this for you? Absolutely. Hands down, this is by far my favorite carry gun that I've had up to this point, and I would for sure recommend it for any starter, beginner, or even somebody that's experienced in carrying any firearms. This is the go-to for you. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in again for Sunday Gunday. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. It's super motivating for me to see you guys comment down below as well. So if you have some experience with the X-Macro, or you want to learn more about something else that you want me to cover in these videos, make sure to put that down in the comments. And as always, stay safe and shoot straight.